perhaps we should move on to your decision to star in the film as well. Congratulations also on your performance. It's your first role, and it's, you know, quite a daunting. I think you're in almost every scene.
Because I love very much myself.
So tell us about your, you know, decision to cast yourself.
Yeah. In fact, I started doing. Working traditionally, let's say. I start looking for actors, and I spent like 3 months searching for somebody, but was the wrong way, because I wrote the script, and the character came out somewhere here. I put it from here on the paper, and it looked very much like me. It was very hard to find somebody who had this way of approaching objects, and so but I didn't realize first, and then Clara Bodo, who is playing in the film, a friend of mine, actress, asked me why casting an actor, and why not me? And in fact, I realized that it had to be me. It had to be me because the character, I build the character with elements that are belonging to my own very intimate structure, psychological structure. And was wrong because there are some lines that I cut off from the film, and that somehow I thought it was too explicit. That's why I cut them off. How to say, the concept of the film somehow rely on the sort of statement that we are living in our heads, and it's very hard to penetrate someone's head in order to understand what is happening in his mind. It's very hard to understand what is happening in our head, because we have to fight our own brain. It is our worst enemy, and so it would have been like a sort of contradiction, me directing somebody, like entering in his head. It had to be me. This is one thing, but the most important thing was the fact that I was in a position to, well, this is my third film. I don't have 30 films behind me. This is my third film, but usually I'm trying to tell stories. I mean, to make films on things that I know, and I was in a position to make a film of something that I didn't know, and that I don't know still. I never killed nobody, so it was very serious, and this was the main argument, in fact. And it had to be me because I was in a position to say something of something that I didn't experience. So it had to be me. It had to go to. I had to go to the extreme, like, you know, Madame Bovary, c'est moi. It had to be concrete and to be myself. So that's why, for example, I cut off lots of dialogues, because I tried to imagine myself in this position, and trying to imagine myself in this position was like somebody who's having this plan in his mind would never try to enter in contact with people talking, just trying to protect himself in order to go to the end. Another trigger of this story was a quote of Hitler. I found this quote of Hitler, him saying something like, those who are painting the sky in green and the grass in blue has to be sterilized. And I think it has a lot to do with this. Of course, there were questions about killing, murder, why some people are doing these things, or how a normal human being, a common human being will go to this extreme. And I thought that this has to be something related to this quote of Hitler, because it is about negotiating, living in a community, it is about negotiating, living with, in a couple, it is about negotiating, making compromises, because otherwise if we stick to our opinion, our philosophy will end by killing